Welcome back, baby dolls. We're going to look at the PulseX yield farms, and I have an exciting report for you that they are absolutely cabooshed to the floor. And I do mean ploppity plop. This was 1,000% APR a few days ago. Then it went to 40%. I was like, you're getting a bit racist. I'm getting a bit triggered. Bang, 13% already. This is disgusting. But hey, by the time this is done, you are going to look me in the eyes, place your left hand on my right shoulder, and then your right hand on my left shoulder, and you're going to say, wow, you really are my friend. I should have listened to you from the start. You don't get rich from yield farming. This is for people to eat the little carrot, have a nip, 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 nip. You're just going to little munch on the carrot. You think you're cool, and then bang, the fox comes and takes you. This is not for you to make your riches. I'm going to let you know. I believe Richard Hart has done this perfectly right. There's a treasury to back everything. So you're not going to get crushed in what I call safe. You will get crushed in the other ones. You'll have opportunity cost missed. You know this PulseX yield farm? This is the safest one. This is thick and juicy. All right, we like them thick and juicy. APR 13% is absolutely poop town. I'm not going to lie. All right. I have the impermanent loss calculator. I want to remind you, the impermanent loss is the extra loss that you're going to get if the prices deviate. So when you put two coins, they're like two different fruit. You put them on the supermarket shelf, maybe one's going to get rotten and the other one won't. Okay, so this is what happens. With PulseX to Pulse, we're pretty confident though. You don't have to worry about prices deviating. I know anything's possible, but I don't think we're going to see PulseX go down 30% and then Pulse go up 100%. I don't think we're going to see that. I hope we don't. Otherwise, everyone's wrecked. Okay, so you can just do these imaginary price appreciation checks. And I want to see, okay, let's say in the future, okay, I have this, I just want to check with you, right? So it's possible that this ratio drops down, right? It halves. And you might think, oh, everything's crashing. No, it's not. It's possible that Pulse rallies 20x, but PulseX only rallies 10x. In the Bitcoin halving year next year. That is possible. So 20x for Pulse, 10x for PulseX. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show it for you here. So just do 2,000% and then we're going to do 1,000%. And we're going to see the impermanent loss is 5%. Okay, so but this is where, please, you have your right hand on my left shoulder. Take that down. Look me in the eye. Keep looking me in the eye. I want you to know when prices go up, you're not even going to remember this. It's not even that bad. Are you even really going to notice that you've lost 5%? You're not. Because you're going to be happy and jumping over the moon. It's such a small amount. So that's why it's pretty safe. If you pick the wrong asset, if you are in a stablecoin farm, and let's say one of them just does 10x and the other one is a stablecoin, does 0, look at your impermanent loss now. So not only have you gained nothing from the stablecoin allocation, your opportunity cost is missed there. You have lost 44% of your coins. You are absolutely cabooshed in this scenario. Disgusting. You're finished. Finished. I don't want to see any of you go into any of these very naughty yield farms. These yields are going down. I want them to go down. I don't want them to tempt you. Don't go and click it into these high ones. This is absolutely trash. If you have even $500, it should be buying any of the Richard Hart ecosystem coins. Pulse, PulseX, pHEX, eHEX. You got a 30x upside, baby doll. $1,000 left in a stable coin is still $1,000 in 2 years. But $1,000 put into here, if it works out, 30 grand. Big, huge upside from here because you're in depression prices. Okay, now you can take your left hand from my right shoulder. You can put that down now. You've been there for too long. So when you're looking at this ratio, I got asked as well, if it goes down, don't panic. Okay, I'm in the PulseX, the Pulse farm. All right, I'm not going to panic. Eventually, it comes back up. When it comes back up, everything's fine again. It's cool. All right, so the ratio, you want a ratio to go up and down, up and down, up and down. But if you've noticed, okay, in the stablecoin farm, it's not even a real ratio. It's Pulse to USDC. So you know Pulse USDC is not going to be sideways for the next 2 years. It might be up like 80x, 100x for all we know. Do you want me to do that number for you, by the way? Do you actually want to see what even a 50x does to this? You've lost 72% of your coins. Yes, if you're in that farm. If you sit here in your farm, you've lost 72% of your coins. So if you had 100 million Pulse put in, yeah, you're only going to have 28 million left by it. So you will regret it big time. Don't go into any of these yields. All the money is made by buying and holding. All right, this is just playing cutesies. Okay, now this yield is absolutely trash. I can't believe how fast they're dropping, but that's the game. Every single time I've seen a yield farm, it's great for like 48 hours, and then reality crashes. You're like, oh, that's right. Gravity, it exists. Surprise. You can't keep printing everything out of thin air. You'll be actually fascinated to see that most people, it doesn't even matter that the yields are garbage to me and you. They'll still sit here and they'll take it. There are so many participants who will just can't buy and hold long term. They refuse. Every time they see a red weekly candle on Bitcoin, they start calling it, oh, I got to de-risk. They end up selling the bottom and they got to buy back later, and they just chop themselves up 1,000 times. They fondle themselves in the shower. I'm sorry, they fondle their soap in the shower. Same thing. And then they got nothing left at the end of it. So many times. So many times. It's the most common story ever. Have you ever met a yield farmer who made it? There's like a few, but you can count them on your hand. What about the buy and holders? Yeah, there's like, what, 30,000 of them plus? So don't forget that. I want to let you know, this is the safe one, right? PulseX and Pulse is safe. Okay? It's got the mind share. It's basically Richard Hart NFT when you think about it. You got the DEX, you got the ecosystem, everything is building upon each other. This is it. But yeah, look what you get for safe. You get 13%. It's like buying Bitcoin, okay? If you have your PulseX and Pulse and you're doing absolutely nothing with it, I think it's cool to participate in this. You're going to do nothing with them anyway in a year, but hold your horses. There's probably going to be other yield farms that are going to be a bit better, but they might require you to take more risk, okay? So obviously, anything with a stable coin, forget it. You shouldn't even own a stable coin. You should not have any stable coin for any reason, because the upside from here is just too big. Why would you even leave like $2,000 in a stable coin when the upside is 30 to 60x in anything else? It's crazy, all right? Now, what about the other ones? This is where it gets interesting. Here you have eHEX and Pulse, right? So you're saying, oh, that's a good APR. Well, chill out. It was like 800% like 16 hours ago. It's already down to 170%. There's only 2 million in here. This is probably going to go down to like 17%. Every single coin that has safety in the link, people will crush it down 15 or 20%. This is how it's going to be. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep chasing these short-term yield. They're going to put that carrot on the stick, okay? Now, we're going to be fine. I'm in these, okay? I'm in these, and it's pretty cool. It's fun. You get to farm, take it out. What you would do with the incentive token is up to you. You can choose to hold it. I just choose to collect more pHEX now. I might change it to PLS, okay? So it's up to you. Just rotate it into something. I mean, they all got a 30x upside anyway. That's what you want to do. You hope you're compensated for that. And you need them to pump, basically, because your impermanent loss is at the end of the day going to be like 5%. But you hope that the fees and the volume and Pulse Chain taking over, Hex community shouting really loud, it's going to be pretty good. A lot of these yields are absolutely, I mean, they're really dropping like a rock. So here's Hex. This is pHEX to Pulse. It's down to 40%. So you're going to see millions and millions of dollars pour in. Mind you, the bridge is only 32% of the way there. Imagine what the next 32% is going to do. We're only a third of the way processed. And look how low the yields are in a day or two. So these yields are going to go super low, man. Super low. Remember that Hex's yield is 9%. Short term. All right. So maybe all of these, I don't know, maybe, I already know this, okay? These will just carry a bit of excess premium. Okay. So this will probably be like anywhere from 10 to 20% yield, and the other ones might have a bit of a premium on that. They go up to like 20 to 25%, and yeah, that's absolutely, you're like 25% yield. That's nothing on my $2,000. That's right. That's right. But if you want to participate in them, and then you harvest your yield once a month, maybe you throw that in some Hex and do a stake for yourself. Wouldn't that be cool? It's worth it. It really is worth it. Maybe you just do like a 2-year stake. You know, maybe you say, hey, I'm going to farm for the next 3 months. You never know. You might collect some incentive token. Okay, so just let you know. Okay, don't knock these, because it can be pretty cool. So you might farm some incentive token, and obviously the price is going to change. But let's just say you farm like 6 Could be 6 a week. Could be 6 a month. I mean, you never know, right? If you farm this and you just rotate it to hex, you think, hey, just imagine to yourself, hey, what if this is $1 one day? You know, I mean, that'd be pretty cool. Every time you did that, that's an extra $2,000 that came in. 6 incentive tokens, right? You don't need that much to do it. So imagine after 4 months, you have an extra 8,000 hex that you never had before. And in 2 years, that's $1. Hey, that's fantastic, man. That's an extra $8,000 that you never had. You could even rotate into something. You never know. Another opportunity might come. Maybe we get to trim it off, the bull market, etc. You never know. So this is the participation you get to do in these yield farms. We already know our path to riches are not here. All right, you notice, don't forget, the highest yields are coming from the absolute fiat poopy. You notice the highest yields are in USDT. If you had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5K, I'm telling you now, if you honestly want to, if you even think to yourself, yeah, I think I'll keep it, what are you even doing in crypto? All right, this should be in your bank account. Don't bring stable coins into crypto if you're just going to let them sit there after 20 months of a bear market and everything's gone down 97%. If you don't deploy now, when are you going to deploy? All right. How many other people, look at all these influencers, I've never heard any of them say, now is the time to get in. They'll say it after like 6 months of green candles. That's when they'll say it. They don't say it now. Like, oh, yeah, it might come down. It's more risky, etc. Screw it. Just grow a pair of ovaries and we're going to push through. The worst of us is behind us. It's going to still be shaky. Like, we're still going to war. There's BB guns. There's water pistols, squirt and everything. The bazookas. We're going to make it. So what do you do if you want to yield farm? Well, one strategy is you would pick what you believe is the cheapest out of Pulse, PulseX, pHEX, and eHEX. Okay, I've looked at all the ratios. Nothing's out of whack. Nothing. Maybe pHEX, kind of out of whack. All right. There is a chance, right, that that eHEX drops down to match pHEX. I hope that doesn't happen, but it is a possibility. I think pHEX is undervalued, but it's possible that PLS is going to be super strong. So that's another thing to think about. Maybe you do half and half. Maybe you say, hey, I want to convert my incentive token to PLS. Maybe you want to hold it. You can do whatever you like. It's great while it's there, but you notice the yields are the highest at the start. They only get more poopy from here. And I do mean massively poopy. But this is what's going to carry us to the moon. So all of these are going to have liquidity bonding, and the SPI is obviously going to be Pulse USD, PLS USD. When that goes up, it drags all of us up. Okay, so that's the beautiful thing. People coming in to buy Pulse will also drag up our hex on Ethereum. That's right. Our eHEX will also go up from people coming and buy Pulse. It will all be linked. Right, it's even got here, you see, hex from Ethereum and Pulse, the LP. So this is part of the magic about all the liquidity bonding. But there is a downside. After we have that first big run, and I don't know when it's going to be, maybe we're up 5x to 20x at the peak of the next run. I'm trying to emulate what Hex did, right? From day one sacrifice. It's possible that you're going to see when we stop and then we drop like 70%, 80% from there, we're probably going to see a lot of aggressive tweets from me showing you some very disastrous people. So you might see some big sharks who are like capitulating after a minus 70% because they always sell the lows. A lot of them sell the lows, okay? And you're going to notice some very disappointing things. You're going to notice that a guy selling PulseX is going to be dragging your eHEX down. And then a guy selling pHEX is going to be dragging your PulseX down too. You're like, what the hell? What the hell's going on? Well, that's the liquidity bonding. So it's leverage. It's basically has everyone shares a liquidity pool. Think about it like that. So if everyone shares it, when someone comes and pumps it, it pumps all of us up together. But also on the way down, it gets really nasty. Okay, but we got a long way to go before you got to worry about that bad part. Don't worry. There's so many good things coming for us. Okay, we got so much more optimism to come before we even look at the rainy clouds. Okay, that's 2025, deep 2025 stuff. So if you have money, what's a good ratio? Okay, what's a good ratio for you to play? Let's say you want to hodl. Honestly, I would be careful with, if you're going outside this PulseX to Pulse Farm, okay, I will be careful with 25% is the max I would start to be like, hey man, just chill out. Just chill out, okay? I don't think any of these are dangerous now, per se. It won't be dangerous in the first run. The danger comes later on. You have no risk basically now. Well, you do have risk. We also have risk. But the danger comes when the next 100,000 people come in. They're going to be getting in more aggressive with less yield at different ratios and different prices. And that's what's going to be the risk part. We're getting in early. We're in early. So we have low risk now. You get to get the yield and you can rotate. PulseX, HEX, it will compound into the future. Maybe you can even sell it for income. That's an opportunity to do as well. I would also caution you, please, if you have Pulse, okay, don't go and just dump it for some other yield farm, okay? Please don't do that. So many people do this because they're like, it's not going to move anyway, all right? Please, please, please don't do any of these, okay? Make sure you keep as much Pulse, PulseX, pHEX, eHEX, okay? Some people, I understand, you've watched my videos and you've seen, hey man, I think Pulse might outperform HEX. But notice that it's a might, all right? It's a might. It can still lock in the ratio. We don't know. So that is an opportunity if you want to play around in that. But you do run the risk that it just doesn't go to plan, okay? HEX is like the Bitcoin of the ecosystem, the store of value. It will always be there that you can rely on. So you can sleep at night knowing that every time you take profit into pHEX or eHEX, you'll be able to stake it and earn your nice yield on it, okay? Now, the yields aren't as juicy as these, but of course, the incentives, that's why it's, the incentives are trying to get everybody to make this popular. So you can do that. If you want to go further along the risk curve, it's probable that you'll have to venture into Pulse, PulseX, right? So the whole ecosystem is leverage, probably leverage on HEX. That's how we feel it. And look, HEX itself is amazing, friends. HEX is cheap against Ethereum. So think about this. Ethereum is a bit of leverage on Bitcoin. HEX is a bit of leverage on Ethereum. So, oh my God, can you imagine if Pulse and PulseX outperform HEX? You got leverage times 3. That is how amazing this opportunity is. But it only comes for us because we're early. They call me a peanut brain. True. They say I'm part of a religious cult Ponzi. True. They say I don't know what I'm talking about. True. And I say, take both your hands off my shoulders. I will now salute you. Tell mum and dad that you love them. Like, subscribe, bell button, or catch you in the next one.